Hey guys, Claire here, and in today's video, we're going to talk about all things Harry and Meghan. Prince Harry has been booked and busy. The Duke of Sussex has had a whirlwind 48 hours, flying to the UK to visit his father, King Charles, after his cancer diagnosis. Soon after, Prince Harry flew back to LA. And it's nice to see I'm not the only one who notices how tense and anxious Harry tends to look on his way in versus how relaxed and happy he seems to be on his way out. With the brouhaha from the UK tabloids, the briefing from his brother, and the leaking from the courtiers, I don't blame Harry for getting the hell out of there. And while we're on the topic, did anyone else notice that Harry did not have to give the 28-day notice that the palace is requiring him to give in order to get police protection? So that proves that if they really wanted to give Harry the security that he deserves, it could be done. They simply don't do it because it's all about punishment and control.
I did notice that Harry got the security that he's been asking for, but this would have been for specific reasons. This was not a private engagement in one respect, and I think you were about to say that always was the case.
That's always been the case when he's here on official duties. When he was here for the coronation, for example, he became part of that. Now, of course, he didn't have the 28 days that the Home Office had said he would need to give notice on in order to put together a full security plan. But these are extraordinary circumstances.
Of course.
Like clockwork, we soon saw an article which includes photos of Meghan minding her business, driving her car in California, coming from the Daily Mail. And it's interesting to me because the timeline for when the photo was released doesn't really add up, because around that time, Montecito was experiencing a lot of rainstorms. A lot of flooding and landslides were going on in California at that time. So much so that, remember, Prince Harry's flight to the UK was delayed. So, the Daily Mail back at it again. Why are you concerned with what Meghan's doing here in the US? Why weren't you wondering why William didn't go to see his dad?
Harry really said, yeah, I'm just going to be here for a half day and get my out. I'm sorry. It's the fact that he literally took a flight from LA to London, had a meeting, and then immediately went back to the airport. Literally within 24 hours. That's longer than he was there for the Queen's funeral. He really said, I'm about to fly in, I'm going to check on him, and then I'm going to go. He looked in that room and was like, you good? Okay, I'm going to call you later.
After hearing that Prince Harry was back home in LA, I was thinking, oh, well, that's nice. He made it back home safely. He's enjoying some time with Meghan and the kids, the dogs, and the rescued chickens. Imagine my surprise waking up to see brand spanking new photos and video of Prince Harry making a surprise appearance at the NFL honors ceremony in Las Vegas. Not gonna lie, I was freaking out a little bit and just as starstruck as the awardee, Cameron Hayward.
Man, Prince freaking Harry. Man, I'm in shock. That's Prince Harry.
Now, of course, the girls across the pond were pissed. And by girls, I mean the girls of the UK tabloids. Now, I'm so happy that a lot of squaddies tend to archive and screenshot articles. Now, in the first article, they said, that's Prince Harry. NFLer is starstruck receiving award from the Duke of Sussex, who just jetted back from London after visiting his dad. And soon enough, within hours, they do what they always do. Switch it up from a positive or a matter-of-fact sort of article into either something hateful, but in this case, trying to make it all about Charles. Now, why on earth would Harry use this occasion to talk about Charles? He's presenting an award to someone. This is not about Harry. This is certainly not about Charles. This is about the man who is being awarded for his good works. The UK tabloids just can't help themselves now, can they? And I do love the fact that Harry showing up here and doing his thing just shuts down the 1,000,001 articles that we got from the likes of Richard Eden and the other royal correspondents who are saying, well, Harry had to rush home because nobody wanted to see him. His father didn't want to see him, which, if his dad didn't want to see him, why did he call him? Why did he make sure that Harry got the police protection that he needed in order to come see him? That makes no sense. And then they were like, oh, well, William does want to see Harry. Baby, who told you Harry wanted to see William? The last I heard from Harry's mouth. He said the relationship between him and William is space. Space. I don't know how space equates to I want to see you, but okay. In the UK tabloids, right is wrong and up is down, so I suppose that makes sense to them.
So they are lambasting Harry for going to see his father. They say Prince Harry was accused of creating unnecessary drama and acting like a teenager in a reality show and making it all about him by various friends of the royal family as he raced across the Atlantic for a half-hour meeting with his father this week. Now, listen, we all remember when Kate was in the hospital, when Charles first got diagnosed. It was, oh my God, where's Harry? How can Harry not be here for his family? Like, you would think that he would at least show some type of support, that he want to see his father during this time. His father's getting older, yada, 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 right? He then goes to see his father, and now he's being dramatic. Like, his father gets a cancer diagnosis. He goes see his father, and he's making it all about himself. Like the math ain't mathin'. Like how does that even begin to work? But again, we already know that clearly Harry can't win for losing. But it's just so interesting watching the UK media tie themselves up in knots as they try to create an issue where there is none. Another added that Harry's hop to the UK went against the royal family's tendency to put institutional calm above personal impulses and accused Harry of using the king's diagnosis to cast himself as the dutiful, concerned son. Now, I need y'all to walk with me for a second. Walk with me, talk with me, hear me out. Institutional calm, okay, above personal impulses. You mean like canceling all of your engagements because your wife is sick? You mean canceling all of the work you should be doing so you can be by Kate's side, even though you have a staff of 60, 2 nurses, a nanny, personal chef, housekeeper, all of that you can't be bothered to work a few hours a day, a week, to be seen because you're putting your family first? Like, those type of personal impulses? So it's cool when William completely goes MIA. Because he's putting his family first. And that's what the most important thing is. Harry, his world stops when he hears his father has a cancer diagnosis. And I do understand that apparently he learned about this last week. Excuse me. But he goes to see his father and he's the drama. He's the drama. And maybe it's because, like, I had a parent who got a cancer diagnosis. And when I heard about it, my world stopped and I immediately went to their side because, like, that's the normal thing to do in those type of situations. But it's fine that William is just simply not working. He is simply not working. And there's no real justifiable reason for it. He's not even stepping in as the heir to cover his father during this time for his own personal impulses. They even go as far to say that William has still not seen his father in person since the diagnosis. The Daily Beast understands content with supportive calls and messages. You're telling me that he lives in the same country. He lives minutes away from his father, but hasn't been bothered to go see him with his cancer diagnosis. And that's cool. That's cool. But when Harry didn't get on a plane to fly across the Atlantic to see his father for what everyone thought at the time was an enlarged prostate, he's a terrible, uncaring, unloving son. Read this article screams William. The whole calling Harry dramatic, saying that he's trying to make this all about him, as if somehow rushing to a parent's side with a cancer diagnosis is abnormal. It is incredibly strange, and dare I say abnormal, to live 30 minutes to an hour away with a parent who has a cancer diagnosis that allegedly y'all have a good relationship. Like, that doesn't make any sense. You're telling me that your dear papa lives right around the corner with a cancer diagnosis and you haven't seen him? You haven't seen him. But somehow you calling him on the phone and being supportive is enough. Like, I don't think that people don't understand the math ain't mathin'. And then we're supposed to believe simultaneously that William is this amazing family man who can't work anymore, who can't do any engagements because he desperately needs to be by Kate's side, by his children's side, and that's who he needs to focus on. So you're telling me that on one hand, William has absolutely dropped all of his royal duties in favor of being there for his family, but can't be bothered to go see his father with cancer? Like, that don't work. The math ain't math in here. That dichotomy does not exist within William. But you know what brother does do things like that? Harry. Harry made sure to, like when that choice came to where he could protect his family or protect himself, he protected his family. He got them folks up out of there. Okay? He lives in a completely different country to make sure his children and his wife are safe, refuses to bring said children and wife back to the UK because he knows that they're unsafe. That man stopping everything he's doing because he finds out that his dad has a cancer diagnosis and hops on a plane, that makes sense. Like, that is the normal thing to do here. And I just find it so interesting that they're trying to play that as if somehow, like, Harry, again, is this overly emotional creature that wants to make everything about him. And it's like, no, that is how most people react. My parent has a cancer diagnosis. I'm rushing to my parents' side. That's what most normal people do. But talking about, like, how William is behind, this article, I think he's behind a lot of articles, especially lately. Like, have you noticed the articles where it's always talking about how William is done with Harry, William hates Harry, he's never going to speak to him again, William is not going to reconcile with Harry, and it's like, did nobody ask, though? like nobody asked. Like, even when there's this discussion about the British royal family, and their relationship with Harry, it's typically the conversation about Harry and Charles. Never William, but William is not the focal point of this. So why do we keep seeing these articles about how much William hates Harry? We got it. Nobody's asking.
The flip-flopping of royal commentators have been particularly funny to watch. They quickly changed the narrative from, Charles just didn't want to see Harry, that's why he sent him on his way, to, how dare Harry leave earlier than he needed to, just so that he can fly back to the US and present an award. Insane.
Imagine for a second that you have to make up another lie in order to save face regarding Harry visiting his dad, right? Remember the narrative? Oh, he doesn't want to see him. The king said, we don't forgive you. You go away, Harry. So he flew all this way just to be rejected. Remember that? Look how they're trying to correct the narrative.
The brevity of this meeting speaks volumes. The king obviously just said, well, yeah, thanks for coming over. I've got to get on this helicopter and go to Sandringham, which is what happened. Well, it transpires that it seems that it was Harry who cut the meeting short, that Harry could only spend 30 minutes with his dad because he had to get back to Las Vegas to present an award at the National Football League Awards, the NFL Awards in Las Vegas last night. Well, there you go. Lots and lots of jokes. Never once mentioned his dad, or indeed his sister-in-law, Kate, Princess of Wales, who's obviously suffering and recovering from abdominal surgery. This was, as I say, the Man of the Year Awards in Las Vegas. He was presenting the Man of the Year, the top award, lots series of awards there. The top award went to Cameron Hayward of the Pittsburgh Steelers, but people are just shocked by this. I just think this is inappropriate, don't you?
Well, I think it shows his priorities, actually. Yeah. And I said on the talk this week, when you have a family member diagnosed with cancer, the whole of your world falls apart and everything is put into perspective. And I gave Harry the benefit of the doubt this week because I said, actually, maybe he can bury the hatchet. He came back to the United Kingdom. He flew all this way from LA. He saw his father. His father was very pleased to see him. I thought he could actually meet with his brother. He chose not to. And he flew home. But now it transpires it was never about the king. It was always about Harry. And that, to me, just speaks volumes about him and Meghan. Also, it just shows which country he has the most allegiance to, whether it's the United Kingdom or America, and you can tell which one it is.
And let me tell you something else about this. Do you remember, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, that the gruesome twosome, Harry and Meghan, flew to Jamaica for the premiere of the Bob Marley film, One Love, and everyone's going, why did they do that? Well, it turns out that they went in the private jet of the guy who is president of Paramount, the massive studio and streaming service. Guess what? This event in Las Vegas, guess who's streaming it? Paramount Plus.
Well,
Paramount Plus.
But also, so again, it seems to me that those gruesome twosome, as you call it, are doing everything they can to basically undermine everything the monarchy has done in this country. Yeah. And particularly with regards to the Commonwealth. And Jamaica are a great case in point there, that the Queen's life work was the Commonwealth, which is a huge organisation of countries. I think it makes up something like a third of the world's population. I think it's something that she cherished, and she cherished it very dearly. And here he is again, Harry putting himself before everyone else in that family. And quite frankly, I wish he wouldn't come back.
I think it's disgraceful. No wonder William didn't want to see him alive.
Now tell me, if you was Harry, of course he don't want nothing to do with y'all. We got him now. We got Harry. You ran him out with his wife, and you still can stop talking about him. You know what they remind me of? You know an ex, a crazy ex who don't want to let you go, but like he's watching your story. He's seeing how good you live in your life, how the new dude is treating you or the new girl is treating you, but they can't get over it, so they just get angry and bitter. Prime example.
And if seeing Prince Harry at the NFL Awards wasn't a big enough treat, we soon found out that Prince Harry gets substantial damages in a mirror hacking case. Prince Harry wins a substantial payout over remaining claims in the phone hacking case against the Mirror Group newspaper. The Mirror will immediately pay an initial settlement of £400,000 while other costs are assessed. They will pay for all of Prince Harry's lawyer's fees and all costs of the claim. The judge also ordered MGN to pay around £2 million for losing the generic part of the case. Congratulations to Prince Harry. One wonders if Piers Morgan's vitriolic statement about Prince Harry, one which I will not repeat, but if you know, you know. One wonders if his statement of such scorching anger and distaste wasn't a result of him knowing what was coming down the following day. And if that wasn't good enough, we soon found out that Piers Morgan will be leaving his show on Talk TV for YouTube. So Piers essentially went from CNN to Good Morning Britain to Talk TV, now to YouTube. Isn't the path supposed to be in the opposite direction? In the words of Nene Leakes, you never win when you play dirty. And this is a true example of that.
Following Mirror Group's acceptance of the remainder of his claim and their agreement to pay substantial additional damages to him as well as his costs. I'll now read that statement on his behalf. After our victory in December, Mirror Group have finally conceded the rest of my claim, which would have consisted of another 2 trials, additional evidence, and 115 more articles. Everything we said was happening at Mirror Group was in fact happening, and indeed far worse, as the court ruled in its extremely damaging judgment. As the judge has said only this morning, we have uncovered and proved the shockingly dishonest way in which the Mirror acted for so many years and then sought to conceal the truth. In light of this, we call again for the authorities to uphold the rule of law and to prove that no one is above it. That includes Mr. Morgan, who as editor knew perfectly well what was going on as the judge held. Even his own employer realised it simply could not call him as a witness of truth at the trial. His contempt for the court's ruling and his continued attacks ever since demonstrate why it was so important to obtain a clear and detailed judgment. As I said back in December, our mission continues. I believe in the positive change it will bring for all of us. It's the very reason why I started this and why I will continue to see it through to the end.
I've seen so many people on social media expressing congratulations to Prince Harry and admiration for him to sticking to his guns and trying his best to hold some of the UK tabloids and their editors, former and current, to task for the very shady ways that they get the news, for their very shady practices, which causes real harm to people and relationships.
The royal news discourse has taken an absolutely rancid turn this week. after Harry dashed to London on Tuesday in the wake of King Charles' cancer announcement, only then to get just 45 minutes with him. This reporting is telling us that Charles did not ask Harry to come. He was a little confused as to why he showed up in London, something that one of Charles' biographers wants us to think of as a dig to Harry, but really just makes Charles seem like an impatient, insensitive father. Listen, if he didn't show up, the papers would have called him a terrible son. It's just a little funny to me that they're also calling him a terrible son because he did go try and see his father. I think we now know why Harry's visit was so quick, however, because on Thursday night, Harry was at the 2024 NFL Honors Ceremony in Las Vegas.
That's Prince Harry.
Ooh, so much for Prince Harry getting completely shunned by the A-listers in the United States, am I right? The Man of the Year award is not just given to somebody who exhibits excellence on the football field, it also goes to players with a track record of community service off the field. Cam Hayward founded the Hayward House in Pittsburgh in 2015. It provides so many services to underserved children and youth, whether that is child welfare advocacy or helping them to get clothes for job interviews and internships. They also do a lot to support children with health issues. If that weren't enough, Prince Harry then had a legal victory on Friday. Remember him taking some of the British newspapers to court over phone hacking? He has now won a settlement in that case, amounting to around $2 million plus his legal fees. Settlement is with the Mirror News Group. This settlement includes news stories that were written by reporters overseen by one Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan announced that he is leaving the channel Talk TV. He's taking his commentary show, if you can call it that, his rantings and ravings show to YouTube. Good luck with that. Instead of complaining that Prince Harry made the 11-hour flight to see him, King Charles should be grateful that Harry made time to do so at all.
Wait a minute, what's this? Daddy Sussex, does that say he won the remaining payout for the phone hacking case against the Mirror? And what does that also confirm? Piers Morgan's role in the phone hacking. So that explains Piers Morgan's fit lately. Completely get it. Where y'all at this morning? Because y'all real quiet about this. Y'all be having so much to say. But Daddy Sussex has essentially won his case, and y'all are quiet. But Mother Sussex and Daddy Sussex do what they do best, and that is thrive. And y'all hate it, and I love that for y'all every single time. Have a good day.
Come at me if you want, I don't care. Happy Thursday. Look at this next gift from the Daily Mail. Please don't forget that all the Daily Mail stories are leaked by Kensington Palace. So literally anything you see in this newspaper has come directly from Kensington Palace. So I've got some questions. The Daily Mail are inferring, they are suggesting that Harry's trip was unplanned. BS. Would he just literally ring up KP, I'm getting on a plane, come over? Just doesn't happen, right? This guy spent 15 hours travelling for a 45-minute meeting. So I think that says something was planned, but King Charles just wanted to get it out of the way super quickly in a super short meeting because obviously he has to fly to his second, third, fourth, fifth or sixth home to recover from his current medical dilemma. Also, controversially, where the hell is Kate? Why are all these people on TikTok and other places saying that she's not alive anymore, that something terrible has happened? Well, royal family, you can solve this really quickly. When she gave birth, she was literally out of the hospital the same afternoon, having a Big Mac and a large Diet Coke. And that's after having the first child. Where is she now? Why can't she just put a short video out just saying, thanks for your well wishes, I'm all good, see you in a couple of months? It's weird, guys, I tell you.
Oh, it's so tiring. Here's today's instalment of how the UK media is treating the royal family and Harry and Meghan. Daily Mail again for the third day in a row, going to town. I'm told Harry took it upon himself to fly over, and Charles was left kicking his heels until he arrived. By a top biographer, so obviously someone who loves the royal family. Thank you so much for all your kindness. Now this one's for the haters. Remember how you always go on about how Harry and Meghan are desperate to be around celebrities? Imagine if that was Harry instead of Willie. And the Times, same picture. Imagine that was Harry. You would lose your Daily Express, William on the front. Kind messages of support mean a great deal, etc. The aptly named Scum going to town again with Top Son. Anyone who says that the UK media is not against Harry and Meghan, really? Really? And the king, almighty king, he's so powerful. He could stop this. He could stop this right now. Is he really that big and powerful? And shame on you to the royal family, but that's actually for the Tories. Shame on them as well. The Mirror went with Wills thanks the nation as Harry flies home. Breaking news. Woman seen smiling. Meghan Markle was caught smiling. How dare she? I noticed I have to mention the £14 million home. And then Prince Harry returned home after 24 hours in London to see cancer-stricken King Charles. Angela Levin, if we got paid like £1 or $1 every time she mentioned Meghan Markle or Harry out of her mouth, Meghan Markle sent Harry over to see the king as US popularity wanes. It's all about him. The Mirror even wrote this article. Meghan Markle seen smiling. Smiling! I always notice how happy Harry looks when he's getting out of the UK. I totally get it. And the Express picked it up as well. Everyone is saying the same thing as Prince Harry rushes back home to Meghan Markle. The look of a happy man. Yay, back home to the people who love you. And the Mirror, make up your minds. Prince Harry is wise to travel back to London without Meghan Markle to see King Charles. But in the next breath, Prince Harry will fly back to London to be by King Charles' side. Today is Meghan and children will stay in LA. Well, what do you want? With or without? They just can't win. And I'll leave you with just a common example of how they just repeat and rehash stories over and over. I saw this headline, and I've been doing this a while, so I recognised it. Meghan Markle changed after Prince Harry engagement, expert says. And I looked at the date and it said Wednesday, 7th of Feb, 2024. That was yesterday. And I checked the body language expert they mentioned, and it was Louise Marler. Dr. Marler, I see. And of course, the same article, 10th of September, 2023. And the body language expert, you guessed it, Dr. Louise Marler. But you guessed it, that's not the only one. It goes back to 3rd of February 2023. Same article, same Dr. Louise Marler. It's just rehash, repeat. The UK media are just...
I just had to share this tweet with you guys because it's just a little funny. Stress is a killer. No one has stressed out the royal family more than Meghan Markle. Her constant lies drove Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip to early graves. Her constant lies drove Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip to early graves. Early graves. Girl, her hand is purple. 99 and 96 years old.
The case of Piers Morgan hating Harry is actually a very interesting one. At the beginning, I don't think he hated him particularly. The whole hacking scandal, it wasn't just on Harry, it was on everybody, the whole royal family and a lot of famous people. And that was basically to get, to sell papers. Meghan comes on the scene and, at the beginning, he actually made comments saying that, Meghan should be careful. She has to be careful. He said this. She didn't know how accepted she would be. So he was on her side. So he was a fan of Meghan Markle at the very beginning. But then after that, I think she ghosted him. He kept holding on to it by asking for an invite to the wedding, which he didn't get. But he is a friend of Camilla. So Camilla being a friend means he's got status, he's got access. And he kind of has to toe that line, I think, of not liking Harry or Meghan, or at least talking about them in a very negative way, to keep Camilla on his side. So, and obviously it gives him attention, it gives him likes, it gives him followers, because there's a whole industry around disliking Harry and Meghan now. As we all know, there's a lot of money being made by people talking about how awful they are, and the press in the UK are just absolutely vitriolic against them. Because it sells papers, it's an industry now. So who knows if he really hates Harry and Meghan or whether it's just a business choice. I don't know. But the guy is, what he said, the last thing he said is absolutely vile. And yeah, I mean, if someone had said that about another member of the royal family, they would have been reported to the police by now.
When they timestamp the official death of the era of white dudes, I fully believe it will be at whatever hour this picture of Prince William and one Tom Bartholomew Cruz was taken. Because if you have been with me for a minute, you are aware of my completely unimpeachable and fully scientific theory that men who are not racist age better. And baby, this aging process is giving oppression. Court is now in session for whatever unknown cultural crimes these two have committed, and Black Jesus is coming to get that checkbook out, kids. It ain't looking good, physically or spiritually. Program.
Stop the presses. Meghan Markle beams as she drives near her $14 million Montecito home hours before Prince Harry returns home from seeing his cancer-stricken father. Okay, so where's the story? I mean, God forbid this woman have a life outside of the people that don't give a about her. Newsflash, you heathens, our daily activities and business does not revolve around them. I mean, Charles is up walking around. He even got on a damn helicopter. But, how dare Meghan smile and have coffee while he's going through something so horrible? How dare she? And peep how these images came from the Daily Mail and not Backgrid. You know, because they always accuse her of using them for pap walks. Now, even though we know she doesn't do that, you damn sure can't accuse her of doing it this time. And they took these images in traffic to boot. Very dangerous, in my opinion. The UK media be trying so damn hard to make Meghan the villain, when Karma is the one who has the origin story in this scenario. Keep smiling, Meghan.